workshops, both the last workshop and Children Are Us, understand how beneficial it is to work with designers. The other thing that the workshop demonstrates, I think, is a switch between a welfare-led model of disability as it relates to employment and business activity. So a switch from that to a design-led business model, which I think is very viable for many organizations, and not just disability-related, but other non-profit organizations. After the workshop is that Children Are Us Foundation and the last workshop will implement the huge range of ideas that were presented. Because that, in a sense, is the real measure of the workshop success.
The woman's name is Julia Kassing. She is one of the most representative person in the field of inclusive design. And she was also a member of my project, which I had in the Research Institute for Humanity and Nature. And her daughter was there, and she cooperates with her mother. She is, no, it's not important. Good. And the point is that many various kinds of designer or working is not the point. The point is the process of production. And various kinds of people participate in that process. And I think in the capitalistic society, it is a great empowerment. As empowerment, it is important for all kinds of people at first to be a customer, and then as somehow worker and producer. So in this process, all kinds of people, not only designers or producers, but also disabled people and also non-profit organizations, they participate in the process. They're users and workers and consumers and producers. That is very important, I think, for us in capitalistic society. And yes, oh, this is the example. So this is conclusion. Any kinds of exclusion contains discrimination, isolation, conflict. So it is not, the exclusion or discrimination is not only a question of ideology or moral or mutual understanding and tolerance, etc., but the question of design. So we like to talk about moral. We should be so and so. But as I said, it is not easy to be, for example, to be tolerant to others. We don't know how. we can be tolerant. So, but it is based on design. There is circumstances where it makes difficult for us to be tolerant to each other. So we can redesign our environment so that it becomes easier for us to be tolerant to each other, like this. So to make more inclusive society, we must be more conscious about exclusion, where the exclusion is, and how we can include them. And this is the quotation from the book of Coleman and Clarkson, Ton and Kasim, Design Exclusion. Exclusion does not come about by chance. It comes about through neglect, ignorance, and the lack of adequate information and data. And not all of us have to know where the exclusion is. Somebody should design the circumstances, and then we can be tolerant or more inclusive. Yeah, that is the end. Thank you very much.
我们非常谢谢维谷真实老师给我们带来的演讲啊，非常精彩也有趣的呈现了很多透过设计的这个角度看到社会包容跟这个排外的一个现象。我想作为一个家长，现在特别容易感受到这个社会包容的问题，包括小朋友的那个叫什么公园的游具啊，现在都非常强调这个在台北市，而且也超过台北市的范围，就是强调大家都可以玩在一起。所以现在有一个状况是，那个老人家都会抢小孩子的玩具玩，对，这是半开玩笑。不管怎么样，我想我们非常高兴，今天维谷老师给我们带来这样一个很特殊的一个视角。那我们这一场到2:05，所以现在还有20分钟的时间，我们欢迎在场的朋友，共同的讨论或是提问。那我们立刻就开放现场讨论跟提问，好吗？那大家可以用中文发言，那个我们会有翻译做翻译。Yeah, feel free. I will sit with you. 那个涂老师。
Okay. I'm Alex Liu from Taiwan University. Going back to the theme of the conference, the rise of the rest. So I think your lecture kind of respond to the ideas of the rest who is excluded. But I wonder if whether, because at the beginning of the lecture you talk about the disadvantaged people, the underprivileged people, how to design for them. But I think the focus is mainly on the physical weakness or the physical disadvantage. So I wonder if it allows room for the mentally disabled. Meaning, I'm thinking about an actual project in Japan. There's a book with a title, Manifesto of the Design for Passive People. Passive people. So there's a concern for, so the exclusion is not necessarily only about the physical arrangement of the physical space or environment, the convenience. It can be down to like meetings or, like the world is designed basically for the active, the positive, affirmative, the vocal, right? So, I wonder if the rest also include, the first question is whether the rest also include the mental disability or the mentally different, yes. Second question has something to do with the capitalism and its relation to design. We know in capitalism there's always this need, as you also acknowledge, this need to differentiate and to have rank, to have privilege, like first-class membership, enjoy different privilege on others. Capitalism rely on those, hierarchy of services according to either money or skills. Like if you have better capitable skills, then the environment will be designed for you. So I wonder if you can talk about more possible application, or to say more about.
Yes, they are something like those workshops. But what else can we do? Because capitalism. So I think it's good. For example, game design encourage competition, like people with certain skills.
And those were written and in the interface and in the format and in the whole rules of the game, right? So so that is one example where capitalism is very closely connected based on its own logic of competition, violence, and privilege. Yeah.
谢谢涂老师。OK， 我们再收集2个问题好吗？这边请。
Thanks, Mr. Kajitani. My question is pretty simple. Can we imagine a possibility that the exclusion still has some advantages? I want to use my personal traveling experience in Japan to highlight this question. I guess maybe in Japan, you still have some communities for those old and retired daily workers. Such as one in Tokyo, very close to Asakusa, Sanya Chiho. Another one in Yokohama, Kodobukicho, and the third one in Osaka, Nishinari. And okay, this is the problem about inclusion. We know that since 2002, many hotels in Tokyo, in Sanya Chiho, they just rebuilt for receiving more foreigner backpackers, because those owners find that it's more profitable to receive foreigner guests than only for those retired workers. Okay, however, that's the last year when I traveled in Osaka. I tried to ask those hotels in Nishinari, in Japanese, do you receive foreigner guests? And it's very old. That clerk he's very nervous and just say, no, it's exclusion. However, this exclusion protects those old people's right to live there, because those hotels just super cheap. Every day maybe just 400 yen or 500 yen. However, if you live in hostels in Nishinari, maybe you have to pay 1,000 yen if you are a foreigner. So maybe this is the advantage of exclusion. So can we imagine this possibility? Thank you.
谢谢您的问题。我们再收集一个问题好吗？就后面那位白色的女士。
Thank you very much, Professor Kajitani. I was very inspired by how you bring together human rights and capitalism in the design, a more inclusive design. My question is actually very simple and direct. Could you talk a little bit more about the designers? Because you mentioned that you work with designers, and that's great. But somehow I think the category of designers is a bit transparent. I'm in communications and media, so if we can kind of apply the idea of this more participatory design to designing the design of media message. Actually, I think most of us know that the media, by capitalistic logic, the designers are actually quite, the message itself is very exclusive for the most part. So even though now there are a lot of social media outlets that encourage, I think, personal branding and competition, and I guess, I guess I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the category, the social category of designers, and how will they become receptive of this idea That's social inclusion. I guess that's a question of education of designers as well. Thank you.
谢谢如意老师的回那个问题，抱歉我刚刚没有看到是如意。So guess we'll let you respond to the questions.
Yeah, capitalistic society is very, very competitive society. So there is always a winner and loser. But for example, typewriter was invented for disabled people at first. There are several sources, but one origin is that an engineer invented a typewriter for his girlfriend who gradually lost her sight. And he invented a typewriter so that his girlfriend can write even if she cannot see anymore. And also the iPad, this touch panel, is also invented for disabled people. So we don't have to be able to type. We need only finger, and that empowered many disabled people, really. My friend of mine who has disability, has great difficulty in writing or speaking, and she said that with iPad and with Facebook, she has widened her. She said that she couldn't live